Last night in Vanguard, we got an update which gave us a few new weapons, of which I highly recommend trying the sniper with the rapid fire barrel, some new maps, and 2 new perks in Intuition and Serpentine. In this video, we're going to be focusing on Intuition, doing a deep dive on exactly how it works, and hopefully help answer any questions you might have about it. Before we begin, just so that we're all on the same page, Intuition is a perk in the second category, competing against forward intel, high alert, radar, etc. And its definition is your vision pulses when enemies are nearby, even through walls. So right off the bat, this perk seems to be pretty similar to high alert, but they are different and we will compare them later on in the video. Alright, so first let's go over this part of the definition here that says the perk only works when enemies are nearby. So how far is nearby exactly? Well, if I stand right here next to the enemy, we can see that it's not working, but when I walk up a bit, it starts working now, so the distance looks to be 10 meters. When using this perk, you'll also notice that you'll get yellow and white indicators on the side of your screen, and they'll, switch between the 2 colors. So what's up with that? Why are they changing colors? And this is simply because white means that an enemy is near, but they're not aiming at you or their crosshairs aren't on you, basically like they don't see you. And yellow means they are looking directly at you, so you're probably about to die, or the enemy is completely oblivious. Alright, so up to this point in the video, I've had the in-game volume turned down, but there is also an audio cue with the perk, and your operator will say something along the lines of this.
There's enemies nearby. It's too quiet. Be careful.
And I get that they're trying to add an audio component to this to help, but honestly, after the first few times of hearing it, I really wish they had an option to just shut your operator up, because it gets repetitive so fast. But more importantly though, can your enemies hear you when you're making this call out? Because that would just completely break the perk. So on my other character here, I put on Intuition.
I sense enemies nearby. Careful, enemy nearby. I sense enemies nearby.
And it looks like no, your enemies can't hear it. So at least it's not broken in that sense. Next, is there a counter to this perk? Well, according to the definition, no. But I'm not sure if you guys know this, but right now in the game, forward intel actually does have a secret counter, which is cold-blooded, even though the definition doesn't say so. As you can see here, whenever we kill the enemy, we get an indicator, and then once I put cold-blooded on the test enemy here, we don't get an indicator. So is there a secret counter for Intuition? And after testing every single perk, including Dead Silence, and even ones that wouldn't make sense like Overkill, I still couldn't find one that worked. So unfortunately, no, there's no counter to it, and hopefully they change that in the future and maybe add it to Ghost, Ninja, or Cold-Blooded, because everything in the game should have a counter for balance purposes. Okay, so since we know that it works within 10 meters and it has no counters, we basically can use this as a super overpowered, constant heartbeat sensor, right? Well, yes and no, and here's why. So what I found is that the perk only works if you're on the same level in terms of elevation. Basically what I mean is if you're on the first floor of the building and someone's on the second floor, even if you are within 10 meters, the perk's not going to work until we are on their same elevation. For example, like right here, I can clear out this section of the room and can pretty confidently pre-fire into this corner where an enemy is. But the problem with this is with a corner like this one here, where you can climb on top of things, because of that elevation thing that we just talked about, the perk's not going to work at all in this instance. Sometimes, depending on how high the items are in the corner, you are able to counter this by jumping a bit, and sometimes it'll pick up the enemy. But yeah, so basically flat equals Intuition is great. Clearing 2-story buildings, stairs, etc., it's a little bit more unreliable. Something else I noticed with the perk is that there is a slight delay. So basically we can quickly run up to an enemy, and by the time they get the notification, we're already there. So now comparing Intuition with High Alert, going back to that test that we just did with High Alert, you can see that High Alert responds basically instantly. High Alert is not affected by elevations like Intuition. High Alert's distance limit is 100 meters, while Intuition's is 10 meters, and High Alert does have a counter while Intuition does not. So am I going to use this perk, and how would I rank this compared to the other tier 2 red perks? I would probably put it in the 2 to 4 range depending on game mode and, your preferences. For respawn modes, I think that forward intel is the best. It's so helpful to know the exact moment and location someone spawns. But for more tactical modes like search and destroy, and I don't know, maybe something like capture the flag if they add it, then I'd definitely give Intuition a try, especially because there are no counters to it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the perk. Hope this video was helpful, and I will catch you all in the next one.